Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame, though it might be nice to own a jet plane.
What is going on, guys? My name is 4G. Today I wanted to make a video just talking about why Chapter 4 is genuinely just so much better than Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. And that is saying a lot because, first of all, of course, the chapter just started. And why am I not saying Chapter 1? It's not better than Chapter 1. We'll have to see about that. I highly doubt that. The fact that the game was completely brand new back then and it was just a totally different experience. So we're not even going to put that. We're going to put that in a different category. We're not comparing that, basically. We're comparing it to Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. It wouldn't be fair to compare to Chapter 1 is my point. But basically, this has been just a great experience. I mean, I haven't been playing as much as I used to back in like Chapter 2 and older. But when I do get on, when I do play, I've been having a lot of fun. It's just something I realized as to why this chapter is just, or maybe the season, I mean, this could change over the next few months, of course, over the next few seasons, whatever, but something that is so good already is the fact that they have a shotgun in the game that isn't garbage. It is actually so good. I made a short video about this already, but the Thunder shotgun is the reason that this whole chapter, okay, it's one of the reasons, we'll go over more of it in a second, but it's one of the reasons why so far I've been enjoying the game so much more than I had in Chapter 3, because of course they nerfed, or not nerfed, well, they did nerf the pump, but they also vaulted it. I don't know why they nerfed it, because they never brought it back to the actual, like, Battle Royale part of the game, but they completely got rid of it over a year ago now. The last time we saw it was Chapter 2 Season 8, and that was the last time I truly had fun with Fortnite. Actually, that's not true. I guess Chapter 3 Season 1 was pretty fun because the map was brand new and everything like that, and the Spider-Man gloves were all awesome. So it kind of made up for the lack of that. Well, mainly because the map was new and we hadn't had a desert biome or any sort of jungle biome or any biome at all in like 2 years at that point in time. So yeah, maybe Chapter 3 was just like that for me. But the actual weapons that we had, the metas and stuff, I remember complaining about that the entirety of Chapter 3. Those seasons, okay, let me just back up for a second. Chapter 2, it would have been great. It had a great meta most of the time, not all the time. Of course, we had Chapter 2 Season 6, which the only good thing about that season, in my opinion, was the bows and the battle pass, but the whole map was pretty bad, and the majority of the rest of the loophole, other than the bows, was pretty bad. And the fact they got rid of snipers for the first time ever kind of sucks, and now we're back to that, but I'm used to it by now at this point. But basically, yeah, Chapter 2 had good metas for the most part, but a terrible map, in my opinion. Chapter 3 had a good map, but terrible metas. Did I say that properly? I think I did. Now, in Chapter 4, so far, it feels like we actually could possibly have both. The map is very fast-paced, which I do like, and that's due to the fact, most likely, for two reasons. The shockwave bow, and of course the main one, the shockwave hammer. Everyone has a shockwave hammer. I do believe it is a tiny bit too common, but other than that, it is a pretty fun weapon to use, of course. It is a part of this season that's really motivating people to move around the map, and then the fact that there's only 9, I believe, POIs on the map, which is the lowest we've ever seen on any Fortnite map so far, is pretty crazy. It's kind of annoying when we get third-partied, and I wish that there was Siphon in the game, but you know what? I think it is overall better than just running around for 20 minutes waiting to find someone, basically, just for it to be a bot. If you play pubs, there's always bots, no matter what your skill level is. It's not fun to me. I know I made a TikTok about it a while ago, and a whole bunch of people were talking about how that's actually a good thing, that they like bots. I don't understand that personally. There's no fun knowing that I just eliminated a bot. There's no enjoyment in that, and it just artificially inflates my elims and stuff. I don't really like that. But that's not really the case so far. I mean, there's bots. I'm not saying there's not bots, but there's so much action and stuff going on this map, and something else that makes this chapter so much better than the last two. And this is something that's going to sound really stupid. I will admit, it'll sound so stupid, but the grass actually doesn't look like oversaturated garbage. The entire map of Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 looked so bad, in my opinion, especially Chapter 2. Chapter 3, they kind of toned it down a tiny bit, and it looked more washed out, I guess. I don't even know how to explain it other than that, but Chapter 2 looked awful. It literally looked like it was straight out of a coloring book. It was so bright and oversaturated. Like, it was like they were trying too hard to make the map appeal to the younger audience, which is kind of annoying to see, especially with when you look back at Chapter 1's map. Maybe you disagree with that, that's fine, but for me, I think that the Chapter 2 map visually looks bad. Well, it was also bad in general, but the Chapter 3 map it looked visually like not too great in my opinion, but it played decently and it had biomes and stuff, so that's why I think that it is a lot better than the Chapter 2 map. So far, I might actually say that the Chapter 4 map, it's very difficult to determine if it's better than the Chapter 1 map or not. That's going to take a long time to decide, you know, a few seasons, maybe even waiting until Chapter 5 comes out before I determine that. Again, it's probably not the best idea to compare these two because Chapter 1 is far above in a different league, basically, that Chapter 2 and 3 even couldn't ever hit. But the grass actually looking good, and the graphics in general make this whole, like, the art style, maybe, because I'm not even using, like, the lumen settings and stuff. I was using it for a bit there in the beginning of the season, but I kind of don't like the FPS hit. It makes my game really, like, laggy and stuttery. Like, it says 80 FPS, but it doesn't feel like 80 FPS, you know? So I'm going in there, and I'm just using a mixture of high and medium settings, and the game still looks great. It looks fantastic. It looks way better than Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, and I realized that is a big part of what I love about Fortnite, which is surprising because back in Chapter 1, other than like Season 5 when I got a new laptop, I remember that, but other than that, I played all those settings before Season 5, and then after Season 5, once the new effect wore off, I also lowered the settings so I could get a consistent 120 plus FPS and stuff like that, and yeah, it still looked way better, and that is a big factor to me. It's not about the graphics, it's more about the art style, and the Chapter 4 art style really fits Fortnite a lot better. I do also like the fact that so far it is the Fortnite theme, I guess you could say, with this season. The whole night stuff I think is pretty awesome. Now, I will say that the map itself, there's a couple POIs, and there's not very many, of course, as I mentioned, but a couple of them I just can't say I care about, like the quarry or whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but that's not a great spot in my opinion. I hope that gets replaced pretty quickly. Something I would also like to see on this map is, at least over time, I like how right now it's not like this, but in the future, I hope they do add a couple returning POIs that we haven't seen in a very long time. I'm not talking about adding tilted towers, even though I have a feeling that they're going to add tilted towers over in the ice biome, and we're going to have like a snow version of tilted towers at some point because the clock tower is over there. That's literally the only reason I think that, but we'll see what's going on with that. I would like to see Lucky Landing and Paradise Palms, especially Paradise Palms. It has been so long since we've seen that place, literally since Chapter 1 Season X, and that was way back in 2019. Hopefully we see that. I don't count Condo Canyon. Condo Canyon did not feel like Paradise Palms at all. It was dead constantly. Nobody landed there. Compared it, like, especially compared to Paradise Palms. Paradise Palms was like Tilted Towers 2.0, or actually it's not Tilted Towers, let's not compare it to that, Pleasant Park 2.0. And that's another thing. Speaking of that, now that the Chapter 2 map is destroyed, it's no longer underneath the Chapter 3 map, and we're no longer on the Chapter 3 map. I hope they also bring back Pleasant Park eventually. We did have that in the game for a very long time, so I understand if that doesn't come back for a while, but it was my favorite POI for the longest time, and it was great to see it on the Chapter 2 map when that came out and stuff like that. Actually, Pleasant Park kind of carried the Chapter 2 map. I probably wouldn't even have played Fortnite for a while, or I wouldn't have played Chapter 2 as much if it wasn't for Pleasant Park. But anyways, this video is getting way too long. My point is, at the end of it, let's sum it up. Chapter 4 has been a very great experience so far for me. I've been enjoying it. The graphics look good, and I'm not even, like I said, not even talking about like the highest settings, just the art style in general of the game looks so good compared to the last two chapters, and the Battle Pass is decent. I like the new layout. I like that they finally, even though they didn't get rid of the Battle Star system, and you have to still, on every single item that you want, you have to hold on it and wait a second, and then you gotta click claim. It's just this whole process that I'm kind of sick of at this point. But even then, they changed up the actual layout. It looks a lot better. It looks more like the traditional Battle Pass system where it's like 1 to 100. You could just go through the pages. I like that, unlike the scrolling stuff. I didn't like that. So yeah, they've done a great job. They have the Thunder Pump, which is a much better, or Thunder Shotgun, whatever it's called, much better weapon than anything they added in Chapter 3. I mean, the heavy shotgun, which, by the way, they added that. That was the only shotgun in Chapter 3 that I actually liked, and that's not even, it's just a reworked weapon that we had from Chapter 1, if we're being completely honest. But yeah, it's been a pretty cool meta so far. Hopefully they bring back the Bolt maybe next season, maybe. It's been a very long time since we had the Bolt Sniper in the game, but yeah, this has been a very long video, probably the longest I've made in a while. Been pretty passionate about this because I've been enjoying it. So yeah, what do you guys think about this chapter so far? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new here and you like Fortnite videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, if you guys would like to support me, make sure to use code YouTubeBits14 in the Fortnite item shop. I do get a small portion of that sale if you do use my code. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.